Okay, so today on our call is our new coach call, and I wanted to talk about 10 tips that I have, things that I wish I knew when I first got started. Okay, so the first thing I have is don't be afraid to talk to people before you understand the products. So, if you are a new coach and you haven't tried the products and you're just jumping into it, a lot of times, and you may have coaches that you sign on that do the same thing, is they think I need to do the program first and figure out what's going on and understand how to eat before I tell other people what to do. And that's just like the first thing that you should not do. You need to talk to people as soon as you start. And you can literally say like, I don't really know, I'm just getting started, but I'm so excited because it gives you a meal plan. It gives you 30-minute workouts that you do from home. And they're no joke. She seriously kicks your butt. And then you get the containers and the meal plan. So you kind of like, it tells you how much to eat, and if it fits, you can eat it. So it's awesome. And, I'm so excited to see our results together. So going through that way and just kind of saying like, I haven't finished it, but I'm really excited to do that. And that's what you need to do, because you don't want to ever just be afraid to start talking to people. You shouldn't be like, well, I want to have a better after photo. No, you want to talk to people as soon as possible, because that's just more people that you're going to be able to help. And as long as you're just saying like, I'm just starting this new thing, it's going to be awesome, join me. It's not going to come across salesy. As long as your encouragement, your words are, you should join me, versus like, hey, I'm doing this new thing and I'd love it if you could like buy this and try this, so it's different between you genuinely wanting to help somebody and coming across salesy. Okay. So number 2, I have, don't put off starting your transformation. And it sounds silly, but then sometimes people either are like, I'm going to focus so much on getting the business going, and I'm not going to do my workout because I want to listen to this team call or do this or that. You want to be the product of the product. And you want to make sure that you are constantly doing things that if I had a number 1 customer, what would she do? Every day she would work out, even when she didn't feel like it. And so like, that's what I want you to think of. Like, if I had a client that I just wanted to like tell her all the time she was awesome, what would be the qualities that she had? And I want you to see that in yourself and show other people that as well. So the best way to gain interest is from potential customers is for them to really see, wow, she has been doing something right. I need to talk to her. What is she doing? So it should always be that, and I'm not sitting here saying like that scale needs to go 3 pounds less. Like, it's not that. It's just, you need to be constantly working on yourself. And it's not just weight loss. It's, I want to be more positive. I want to, have more definition in my legs, or I want to be able to go longer with Insanity Max 30. So it's so many different things, but we want to see that transformation. And when you are able to say like, here's my before and after, and, people are like, dude, you look amazing. What are you doing? So, for me, like, weight loss really isn't a goal, but I want to show that a year from now, I either have more muscle tone or more definition or, something like that. So you should just always want to be like, take a look at me now kind of thing. Because that's really where you get a ton of interest, is when people see like, okay, she's been doing it. And that's why as soon as you can, put up your before and after photo. And don't be afraid, because honestly, like, when people are usually like, I don't like my before picture and I don't want to put that out there. But the thing is that it doesn't matter what your before picture looks like. It's your after and the hard work that you put into it. And people are going to be like, dude, you look amazing. And if you're afraid to put out your before and after, if you preface it with, it was really hard for me to post this because I wasn't happy with where I started. And nobody's going to be like, haha, you're right, you looked like a piece of crap before you started. Like, nobody's going to say that. So, I think just prefacing it that even makes other people think like, oh, well, I want to let her know that, stop it. Cat's like moving my computer. So yeah. And then, even if you don't, if you want to get one right off the bat too, an awesome thing is like, try the 3-day refresh and have results in 3 days. And, Sorry. So that, like, that's right there. That's just 3 days. You don't even have to like put that much time and effort into it. She just comes right back. It doesn't matter. I could like freaking throw her across the room and she'll come back. Okay. Let's see. Always take your before and after photos, and then also like tell your clients to do that as well. And my thank you notes I send, and we'll talk about that later, but my thank you notes, I always kind of say like, make sure you take your before and after, because you can win a free t-shirt and the chance to win $500, because Beachbody gives away $500 every day. You can be a coach, you can be a customer, whatever. And you can send in multiple before and afters. Like, this is my before and after for 21 Day Fix for this month. And then next month you can even be like, your before and then the newest after, and be like, this was my 2-month progress. So it doesn't even have to be just one program. You can do like multiple rounds and things like that. Cause Melissa just turned in her PIO results, and they contacted her to, you know, try to see if they could use her results. And, you know, she may be in an infomercial, she may win $500. You just never know. So definitely do that and encourage your clients to do that too. Number 3, stop it, cat. Sorry. Number 3 is provide value always. And so instead of just slopping a picture up and being like, breakfast, I want you to provide value. How can somebody duplicate that? And how are you able to give somebody an idea of like what they should be eating? And so, like, for example, if you had oatmeal and you kind of made like, okay, I used, you know, half cup oatmeal, half cup blueberries, you know, whatever. So, but instead of just throwing a photo on there, I would love it if you could provide value and give them. Check with AAA, you know, but check with the AARP, all of them. I said, I just old not to get no discount. Oh, you got it. Okay. I think.
Hold on, I'm trying to do this.
Wait, gotcha. You're muted. Okay. I think I might have to unmute you if you need to talk. So let me know if I need to do that. I'm still learning how to use this. Okay. So provide value with recipes, provide value with, you know, if you want to post up a quick workout they could do. And then also thank you notes. To me, that's providing value to people. You know, how often do you get thank you notes, like handwritten notes in the mail? Most likely not very often, unless you like attended a wedding, when it's like, okay, I have to send, you know, a thank you. So, I get people all the time that are, you know, like, oh my gosh, your thank you note made me so happy, and, you know, things like that. Because honestly, like, when people are excited about weight loss, a lot of times they don't really want to tell people if they're starting something new. They're worried they might not succeed. So, but you being that little cheerleader for them also gets them even more pumped up, because they're pumped up when they buy it, and then maybe like doubt sets in and they're not sure how well they're going to do, and then they get their card again and they're like, okay, let's do this. So and thank you notes are awesome. Starting your getting your business cards ready, I think, is important. And vistaprint.com, you can even do lots of things that you can do for free and just pay for shipping. If you want to customize it a little more than the free options, then you can obviously pay for it. But always slide a business card in the thank you notes. And then Molly actually did this, and I love this idea. She did a referral card. So basically in the thank you notes, they get a referral card, and that person can give it to somebody to win a free sample of Shakeology or something like that. So pretty cool stuff. And I've posted that in the group before, and you can always contact her if you need to see that again. But that's just awesome. You know, it's kind of like, oh, wait, yeah, I want to have somebody to get free stuff. So you give it to a friend and they get, you know, a free sample of Shakeology, and that's another referral on your list. Let's see what else I had in this one. This one was kind of like just a bunch of little things that I didn't want you to forget all in one. So provide value through sharing recipe, writing thank you notes and sending them, and you know, telling people that, you know, hey, I have a free exercise group. I don't know if you're interested or not, but I'd love to have you. I don't care if you're like out talking to somebody or you're talking to somebody from Instagram or what. You can always tell people like, oh, I have a free meal plan I can give you, or I have a free exercise group I can add you to. You're just kind of seeing how can I add value. And the meal plan that I give is even in our files of the Run Pink Run Happy group. So you can always just kind of tweak that and make that your own. I'm happy for you to share that, because having something like a meal plan, people are always like, oh yeah, I never know what to eat. That'd be great. So you can always share that. I've done that every time I do that on Instagram. I write, for my free meal plan, enter your email below. And I recommend you doing that to start to build an email list. And I put it off and put it off and put it off. And I am just now trying to start an email list. And for the list I don't even know. I have to count it. You know how I tell you guys to start your 150 page or 150 person list. So mine started off with just like handwritten. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 front and back handwritten, like just regular notebook paper, and that's my list. And if I would have been keeping an email list as well the whole time, that's right there is like golden. That's so many freaking people I could be sending like recipe of the week to. So now what I'm doing is I'm trying to gain that email list. So I would definitely suggest you trying to start a contact group in your email list or in your contacts, whatever, or even if you just write it down. But I'm like kicking myself that I waited 2 years to start doing this, because the other day I was locked out of Facebook for 12 hours and it was the worst 12 hours of my life. I was like, oh my gosh, like I have no client emails. I don't have any way of contacting people. And I had a call and I couldn't even jump on the call because I was like, I didn't even save the number yet. Kat, I'm going to stop it. Sorry. I was like, I don't even have the number because it's in my messenger. So, that to me was like a really big wake up call. I was like, I need a plan B. If Facebook were to just, for some reason, like, just it wasn't there anymore, like there goes my business. So I really want to kind of like tell you, like, don't wait until like something happens and then you're like, oh crap. I don't really know why they locked me out. They made me send them my ID and they didn't believe I was a real person. So I'm not sure why, but if you add too many random people on Facebook, if you, there's certain things like if you do too much of, sometimes Facebook will lock you out. And there was a top coach that like lost her, access to her Facebook for a while. So basically that right there is like, you need a list. And Shalene Johnson, who she does PIO and she also does, a lot of personal development, she stresses that so much. So anytime you can do something, ask for their email address, get them to sign up for a free player membership. That's literally a free membership, and it just assigns you as their coach. So you can always send them that before you send them the meal plan and say, okay, yeah, sure. Just let me get you to sign up for this free player membership. And then that way, then I'll send you the meal plan. So you can always do that as well. Okay. So number 4 is it's a numbers game. And that's truly 100% true. It's just a numbers game. If you talk to 5 people and 4 people said no, and 1 person said, let me think about it. Okay, talk to 10 people and you'll get 2 people to think about it, things like that. So just the more people you talk to, the more she's like relentless, just like, nope, I'm not going to listen. But the more people you talk to, the more no's you're going to get, but the more yeses you will get as well. So I honestly can't even tell you enough. Like I log into my account at any given time and I have 25 to 30 coaches inactive. So I could sit there and be like, holy cow, I have so many coaches that are not working this business. Or I sit there and say, I'm not going to worry about them because they decided it wasn't for them. They chose not to continue this. I'm going to focus on the people that are being a product of the product and drinking their Shakeology and are trying to make this work. So you can either sit there and be upset over, the numbers that aren't going in your favor, or just go through and focus on, I'm going to talk to more people and I'm going to find more people. And in those people that you find, not everyone is going to be a rock star. Every coach you sign isn't going to be, this person that makes time when there isn't time. But the more people that you get on your team, the more workers you get, kind of thing. And it's okay, because some people really do just want the coaching for the discount. Some people really do just want to be able to buy an extra, pair of shoes each month. So everybody has different, you know, priorities and reasons why they're doing the business. Oh, and then, I already said that. The more no's you get, the more yeses you will have. On our team call last week, I talked about Go for No. I love that book. And I listened to it on audiobook, and I actually finished it like in a day. It was so good. And then another one for new coaches, if you haven't read yet, The Compound Effect is really great. I love that. And that is Darren Hardy, right? Yeah. Okay. And that goes for customers as well. Just, you know, the more people you talk to, the more people are going to say yes. You might talk to 10 people and they're all just like, I don't have the money and yada, yada. But the more people you will talk to, the more people that will say yes. Number 5 is engage in Facebook and Instagram every day. I don't care if you have a bad day, if you at least make one post and put it up there, that's going to make a difference. So, you know, on days where you wake up and you're having a bad day and you're stressing about this and you're stressing about that, my biggest advice to you is make a post about it and turn it around. Whatever you're stressing about, turn it around and make that into a positive post, because we all stress about things. And you know, for a long time, the thing that stressed me out was comparing myself to somebody, whether it be with my physical fitness, whether it be with my business. I found that I was constantly comparing myself to other people. So if you go back in my like Instagram newsfeed, you'll see that the general theme is you are good enough. You know, don't compare yourself to anybody but you know, things like that. So those things that I personally struggle with, those are the things that I put out there the most. And so if you're having a bad day, figure out what it is and what you need to get over and put that out to people, because that just means that you're going to attract like attracts like. And if you're putting out your insecurities and things like that, people are going to really want to be around you and know what you're talking about because you have similar interests. Ask questions as well. It's nice to just, you know, be able to have people interact with you. So there's a lot of things that I probably could Google that I just put up on Facebook because I have people respond to, like, oh, just bought a new MacBook. What's your new favorite feature about it? You know, things like that. You know, if you're looking for a new mascara, instead of like going, yes, you could read reviews or whatever, but put that on Facebook, because the more people interact with your posts, the more they see your posts in their newsfeed. That's just the way Facebook works. So you just really want to get, are we all like over here cuddling with our cats? So many cats everywhere. Like attracts like. I attract crazy cat ladies. What can I say? No idea where I was going with that one. Where was I even at? Oh yeah. And then also always reply to comments. So if somebody comments on your photo, instead of just liking it and forgetting about it, I always respond to it. And even if it's later on, that's fine, because the more that you comment on photos and things, it brings it back up in other people's newsfeed. So that's the cool thing, is even if sometimes I don't get a post out till 10 o'clock at night, if somebody comments on it the next day and then I comment on it and stuff, brings it back up in people's newsfeed. So that's also something cool to know as well. What else? Oh, and just being consistent is really, because nobody's going to be like, April, I remember 6 months ago you were posting about this shake. Can you tell me more about it? Like, people aren't going to do that. So just be consistent. You know, post a picture of your shake a couple times a week. I don't care. There might be people that are like, okay, I got it. You like your shake. Get over it. I'm going to continue to do that. And I'm going to continue to get people that are either like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. Or I always make it like spilling over. And I have actually like a group of people that I kind of know will comment and like, oh my gosh, my OCD just wants to get in there and clean it up. And regardless, if they're talking about the shake or they're talking about something else, I'm getting people to interact and to know that I'm always going to continue to do this. This is something that's changed my life. I love it. And if you know anybody that may be interested, you can send them my way. If it's you, whatever. So just being consistent, and don't think that if you share something, you know, a week ago, everybody saw it. It would be nice if everybody saw your Facebook post, but they just don't. So you have to continue to share, you have to continue to invite people, and just being consistent. Because I have so many people that are like, oh my gosh, I've been looking at your stuff for months and I'm ready to join you. And I'm like, you haven't liked or commented on anything, but hello, it's good to know that you've been watching. So just know that people are always watching. Doesn't matter if they're interacting or not. let's see. Oh, number 6, invite your family and closest friends to try it out so you can use their testimonial. This is kind of like scary because you're like, oh, I don't want to like bribe my family and, get them interested, and I don't want them to feel obligated. But this is what I did. So we were at a conference and they told us about the hot market script. And if you ever go through our file section and find the hot market script, it's there. So I have it in here. I used the text version. You can either call or text people. And so let's see where we find it. So basically you're just kind of saying something like, oh my gosh, I can't find it. So you can say something like, I just got involved. After you say, hey, how's it going? You can say like, I just got involved in a business that I'm really excited about. I'm not asking you to join. I'm not asking for you to become a customer. I've just called for your help. And they might be like, okay, so what's up? And you can just say something along the lines of like, well, have you ever heard of the company that makes P90X and, Insanity and things like that? So I've decided to start working for them. And then you can kind of, sorry. And so you can kind of just say like, yeah, so I'm working for them now and I have this meal replacement shake that I'm personally loving, and I'm loving how it's giving me extra energy. And I don't know if you're interested or not, but I would love for you to try it for a month. And if you could share your testimonial with me with how it's helped you, I would just appreciate that so much. And I don't care if you never order it again. I just am really trying to gain testimonials. So you tell them what you love about it, how it's helped you, or, if anybody has digestion issues. Like I literally had chronic stomach pains for 15 years and I couldn't figure out what it was. Doctors didn't know what it was. And after like a week of Shakeology, my everyday stomach pains were gone. So, if they have other things that they struggle with too, maybe you can kind of share that with them and just be like, I feel like it would be really great because I know that, sometimes you're just on the go. Oh my gosh, cat, go away. I have like the most persistent cat ever, I think. And so you can just, if you find something that you personally think that Shakeology or, 21 Day Fix or something like that would help them with, then get them interested in that as well. But also if they say yes to Shakeology, you can be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And I totally don't know if this is for you or not, but they also do have, a meal plan and workouts for 10 extra bucks. Totally not necessary, but I just wanted to let you know that there's that option too. So you don't want to be like, okay, great, you said yes, and here's more that you can buy, but just kind of like, side note, I don't know if you want it or not, but if you see me be, posting lately about my workouts and that's what I'm doing, and it's actually on sale for an extra 10 bucks. No pressure whatsoever to get them both, kind of things like that. So yeah, I would definitely talk to them and get them interested. Because honestly, like, if I would have been afraid to ask my mom, like my mom drinks it every day. It's honestly changed her life. She loves it so much. She's a coach. She's a retired vet, so she doesn't have to pay, the $15.95 fee. She's a coach underneath my sister, and she will never go like a day without drinking it. And it's changed her life. And I know that, she's always on the go. Sometimes she's not eating very well. And I know that now my mom is at least getting one healthy meal a day. So don't be afraid to, ask people, because we actually usually find a lot of people that end up like, oh my gosh, my mom and dad drink it every day, so I signed them up as coaches, because that's another body underneath you. You might find somebody that loves it, wants to get the discount, and then even if they don't work the business, then they are going to be underneath you. And if somebody does want, either the shakes or the products, they can just say, oh, go talk to, my daughter April. And that's what my mom does all the time. She'll like send people to Melissa or I, because she has no desire to work the business, but she loves it and she believes in the product. So she often gets referrals. So that's another reason why it's great to get your family involved. If you are in any weddings, or if any of your friends are getting married, think about future brides, think about bridesmaids, people that maybe have said, oh, I have a ton of weddings to go to this year, kind of catering to them. And, we can always get together and do like a bridal boot camp and, kind of say like, are you in a wedding? Are you, getting married, or are you, about to attend a bench, and do something that way as well. Just kind of thinking about those kind of people and getting them involved and inviting them to join us. Number 7 is don't ever judge someone. There's been plenty of times where I think like, this girl would not be interested in this, or I know she's usually pretty broke, so I don't know if she'd be interested in this, or that person is so successful in their job, they would never want anything to do with this. Just whatever it is, put all of those out of your head and talk to people anyways. Let them be the person that tells you no. And if they say no, who cares? On to the next one. But just don't judge people like, oh, he's a personal trainer and he knows a ton about this. He probably wouldn't be interested. Or he's a bodybuilder and you know, I don't know if he'd be interested in this. Just talk to everybody. Because you just never know. You know, if somebody was thinking, you know, I have my master's in exercise physiology. It's not required whatsoever, I promise, for this business. But if somebody looked at me and was like, oh, I don't know, maybe she's overqualified for this and she's going to think that it's dumb because it's not, you know, you don't have to be certified to do it. And, you know, that's not the case at all. I was like, sign me up right now. So if Kelly worried about that and didn't, you know, ask me and talk to me about it, that would have been one person that has created a ton of volume for her that she wouldn't have had. So just don't prejudge anybody. And even if they say no, they may have somebody that they know that wants to join, kind of thing as well. Yeah. Okay. So number 8, this is kind of one of my favorite ones because I feel like once you get the hang of this, the whole part of coaching gets a lot easier. So how to battle objections. If somebody says like, oh, I just don't have the money, I'm sorry. Instead of being like, okay, it was good to chat with you. You know, good luck, best of luck to you. You know, don't just let it go that easily. You know, if it's the money for coaching, I tell people, I totally get it. I had $7 in my bank account when I started and I put it on my credit card that was already too high. And, you know, I had thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars in debt, but I did it anyways. And I was able to pay back my credit card plus pay some extra bills in that first month because I decided to do it. You know, so things like that. You can tell, that's my story. I'm sure you had, you know, money that you either had to save or you had to wait or you had to, you know, just be a little uncomfortable with putting $140 or $160 out there. Like that isn't like chump change, but you have to talk to them about the investment. Like, yeah, it's an investment, but my friend April had literally $7 to her name and a year and a half later was able to quit her job and pay for her wedding in cash. So I think it's worth it for the investment. Another objection I use, combat to that objection I use is my best friend Laura paid $25,000 to buy a franchise it was a kids fitness franchise. It's called Stretch and Grow. So it's basically like she went to preschools and kindergartens and stuff and did or like the fitness part of it. She paid $25,000 to like buy this franchise, and I paid $180 when I started. And my first year, I made way more than she did. She ended up having to sell the business back because she was losing money on it. So I compare it to that. Like, honestly, you are starting your business for less than $200. And that's exactly what it's done for me. It's been able to change my life. And if people aren't willing to put that in, you know, you may just have to keep putting on them. I have a couple coaches or a couple potential coaches that I know they'll eventually sign up, but I have literally been talking to them about it for months. But I'm not going to like bully you. I kind of like, okay, well, just so you know you're being silly and it would be amazing. And you know my story, but when you're ready, I'm here. And so for those people, I don't push and push and push, because if you've given me excuse after excuse after excuse, I'm not going to beg you to be a coach, and I'm not going to beg you to join my team when I have a bunch of other willing people. I know eventually that they will probably be kicking themselves for waiting so long, but I'm going to put more focus on the people that are interested. But I just never lose track of anybody. Okay, and then money for a customer point of view, I always say, you know, if you don't like it in 30 days, you can send it all back and get your money back. And it's like that for coaching too. But I always tell people, like, if you don't like it, send it back. The whole freaking, you know, used bag. If you decided it didn't work enough, you can send it all back. Okay, and then time. If it's talking about coaching and you're worried about somebody saying like, oh, I don't have the time or yada, yada, I like to use one of our coaches, Nikki, as an example. She has 5 kids and owns her own business and runs her own business, and then is also a Beachbody coach. So, when somebody tells me like, I don't have the time, or I'm just worried that I won't have time. And I tell people about Nikki's story. And then I tell people I had 3 jobs when I started, and I just did like 15 minutes here, 15 minutes here, whenever I could. It wasn't a ton, it wasn't a ton, but it was enough for me to be able to quit a job and put a little bit more attention on my business. Let's see. And then if somebody says I'm not fit enough, you'll get that a lot too. People are like, I could never be a coach. Do you see me? Like, I don't look like a coach. And for that, basically what I say is you are the best type of coach because you are real and you are relatable. And when people look at you, they know that you're on your journey, but you know what it's like to struggle. I tell people all the time, like, I wouldn't want a coach that had a 6-pack and didn't struggle with, eating carbs or eating too much chocolate or not sticking to their containers. I would not want that kind of person because that's not motivational. And I would actually think that they were totally annoying. So, you want somebody that's real, that's relatable. They want to know when you're struggling. So don't pretend that you're perfect. I think I had a problem of trying to have this awesome image and then I made a post something and somebody was like, oh, good, you are human. And I was like, okay, that's not what I was trying to portray at all. So I kind of had to go back and I was like, okay, I don't want people to think like all I do all day is exercise 4 hours a day and live on like celery and carrots. So, then I tried to put it out there like, okay, well, I drank way too much beer this weekend and should have said no to that third, helping of whatever. So just always know that it's totally okay to put it out there when you screw up. It's actually better to do that. So then you can be like, but I'm back on it tomorrow. Who's going to join me? Kind of thing. If anybody says like, I'm not a salesperson, I've never sold anything before, I don't know that I'd be good at it. My answer is good. I really don't like salespeople. Like, I really don't want you to think that you need to sell people. It's more about building relationships. And I want people that are good at talking. And you don't even have to be good at it, but I want people that are willing to build relationships with people and talk to them and find out how the program will help them versus will they buy it, talking to them, and really kind of building relationships. Okay, so another one is I've never tried the product before. I should try it before I coach. And so some people are like, let me just buy the product now and then I'll coach. And I say that's okay. Yeah, you can do that. But just so you know, I hadn't ever tried Shakeology before I started. I had done a Beachbody program like 6 years prior, wasn't really on board with Beachbody, wasn't against it, but I wouldn't have said like, yeah, I'm so excited I love Beachbody or anything. So I just tell people like, I just joined on a whim and I knew it was going to be good for me to keep me accountable. And I knew it was going to be good for me to be able to build a business. That's something that I'm passionate about. So I just started right away. So yes, you could, but you do not need to have gone 3 weeks. That's 3 weeks worth of getting to understand the business, 3 weeks worth of talking to new people that you'd missed out on. So I kind of like don't want people to do that. If they are like gung-ho, like, let me just try the program first. Okay, fine. But if you are slightly like interested in coaching, the sooner you get in, the better, because the more people, it takes like a month to just learn how to freaking talk to people and, understand how, okay, what's this body beast and what's the difference between this? So the sooner that you get in there, you're not going to know what questions to ask until you actually are talking to people. Yeah. And then number 9 is document your story regularly. Just kind of documenting your journey. This is your health and fitness journey, and you're a coach, but you also every day should just be, telling people what you're doing. And if you post a sweaty selfie or take a picture of your food, or if you had a bad day, but you got your workout on anyways, just basically document your journey. And every day should be some type of post about it. And it's not like, hashtag 21 day fix, hashtag buy my product. It's just like, hey, this is me, and I'm going to be doing this. And people know that they are usually going to see either a sweaty selfie, or I'm going to be sharing something I ate that day, or I'm going to be, talking about a workout I'm doing or something. And people just know that that's going to come from me. And they know that if they have questions or they want to start a new workout, they can come to me because I've been consistent. So you just need to make that every day. Like people, I actually posted, when I was like, oh my gosh, worst 12 hours ever. I was locked out of Facebook and yada, yada. And somebody wrote, he was like, oh good, I was worried you stopped working out or something. Like I was like, I'm glad. And he was like joking, but it's funny, like, yep, that's what people know me for. And that's okay with me because I would rather people know that I'm here to help you if you need to make a positive lifestyle change, you know, than what am I known for? Posting negative post or, you know, how drunk I got last night. Here's my walk of shame. Like, you know, I would rather be known for something like that instead. Okay, so it may be pictures of your food, sweaty selfies. You can do videos. You can kind of like, hey, here's a quick workout for you to do today. Just kind of either take a quick video of you doing the exercises or just write it on a piece of, you know, like a, you can use a photo app to like write down a quick workout. And it's just little things like that that are adding value to people. Also, tell your story where people will relate to you. So this can be your story of like, I fell off the wagon, I need to get back on. Or this can be like a story of somehow where you're struggling. And Chalene Johnson, who I love for her personal development, she said, your darkest moment is what will shoot you into the stratosphere. And I feel like that is 100% true because when you sit there and think about like, what time in your life do you think was really just dark? What time do you think about and think, oh, I was miserable then, or I was not happy then, or, you know, even if it's now, whatever it is, you know, talk to people about it. And so for me, it was in college when I was dealing with eating disorders and I had zero confidence, nothing. I wasn't happy with anything or anyone and just was downright unhappy all the time. And so when she said that, she was like, you have to share it. That point in your life that you are embarrassed to talk about and don't want to think about, that's what's going to move you to the next level. And so that was last March, and I made a post, and like that was honestly like the first time even I think my mom had, you know, heard about my eating disorder, you know, things like that. Like people didn't know. I maybe had told 4 people ever. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I did it. And you know, I could have been like, oh my gosh, I don't want people to know that about me, or I don't want my mom to find that out about me, but I did it. And I cannot tell you the response, like the overwhelming support and like people just being like, thank you so much for sharing. Like I've been there, or I'm going through that or whatever. So you have no idea how much your target market will really be able to be like more concise, and people are like, oh my gosh, I had no idea she went through that. This girl is like, I feel like she was telling my story. And there's going to be so many people like that you want to be able to be, you know, gain that relationship with and start talking to them. And so that's why sharing your story is really important, and not just once, because not everybody's going to see it. If you post it and then, you know, you think, oh, well, I'm not going to post it for another 2 months because people know my story. That's totally not the case. People don't stalk you on Facebook like you may think so. So, you know, I encourage doing that once a week, some part of your story. And it's not the same, oh, I'm going to slap this picture post up here again. It's different. So like 1 week I might talk about my eating disorder and how I, you know, was uncomfortable with, you know, being the bigger roommate, or, you know, something like that, silly like that. And then the next week I might talk about how I found a picture. I was going through old pictures, and a lot of times that's kind of how I figure out, how do I want to tell a different story, or how do I want to tell a different side? And I was going through pictures about that time, and I found one picture that was of all of my friends and I at Eaton Park. And like everybody was like, oh, I love that picture. Da, da, da. But the one thing I thought about was that was the first time I threw up in a public bathroom and my friends heard me, you know? And so like, so that to me was such like a huge, like dark, terrible time. And that like, I made a post about it. So, you know, you get so much support and so many other people that are like, preach it, girl, because I know exactly how you feel. So things like that. And I mean, it doesn't have to be, you know, you can start off with whatever part of your story you feel comfortable talking about, but it's going to make a big difference, and you're going to help, you know, relate to a lot of people. Okay, and then number 10 is when you're stuck in a rut or you're frustrated, make a post about it. Because I have so many coaches that are like, I haven't been working out, I haven't been eating right, I feel like a hypocrite, so I just haven't been posting. And my response is, well, make a post about you being off the wagon and then get back on it. So, instead of just being like, I can't do this because I haven't been doing it myself. So what kind of coach am I if I, do X, Y, Z? Okay, well, make a post tonight that you fell off the wagon and you're getting back on it tomorrow, and you will hopefully get other people to join you, and you can take that and spin it into a positive, and then just kind of say something like, all right, who else here hasn't been as, accountable as they need to and wants to get back on track. Let's keep each other accountable. So that's basically what I do. And then, if you're ever frustrated and you feel like you're spinning your wheels and you feel like you're talking to so many people and nobody's saying yes, reach out to me or reach out to, your upline or, and just say like, okay, can you just take a look at this screenshot? Cause I have been talking to people and nobody's been saying yes, whatever. Feel free to come to us, post in the Run Pink group. I actually think you are all my coaches. But yeah, so post in there if you have questions, but don't be afraid to come to me. I have a lot of coaches that are like, oh my gosh, I asked so many stupid questions. I honestly don't think they're stupid questions. Like I like when you ask a million questions because that's how I was. I've always been that girl that like sits in the front of the row and like ask a million questions. So I won't ever get mad at you for that. Whoa, computer fell. Okay, so that's all I had. I have a couple other things I can talk about, but I wanted to be able to give you guys time. I'm going to unmute. You guys time to be able to ask questions as well. So does anybody have any questions?
I have one question. So I was talking to my mom about like Shakeology and everything, and she was interested, and she would love to like tell people that this is something that I'm doing now, and this is just, a new project for me. But she asked if I had a flyer that she could hand out to people. So I don't know if that's something that you guys have ever done. I know at a bridal show that I went to, there were Beachbody coaches, and they were giving out information about the 21-day fix and about Shakeology and everything. Is that something that I should have her do, or should I just make up business cards and just have her find out if anybody's interested, then they can just contact me directly?
I would do business cards. Honestly, I've never done a flyer for anything. I don't read flyers and brochures because I get so much junk mail and stuff like that. Like to me, like another flyer is like, ugh, it's probably going in the trash. So what I would do is just get your business cards made, and the ones you give to your mom, maybe just like email me or add me to Facebook and message me for a free sample. So something like that, because if she's giving it out, maybe do that on a couple so that it gives them incentive to add you to Facebook and message you or things like that. Now, I don't ever give out free samples just like, oh, here, you should try this. But if it was like a referral or something like that, sometimes I use that because it's really easy to get a business card and do nothing with it, throw it in your purse and forget about it. So, when I'm doing like referral cards, that's what I would kind of do is like, if your mom was handing them out for you, like message me for a free sample of Shakeology or something. And because I've started doing more stuff like that, I actually do order my Shakeology in packets now instead of bags, because I was like, okay, here's my Ziploc bag and my Shakeology. It's a little ghetto. So if you are going to be doing that, you will want some packets. It makes it look a little less sketch for next time. Yeah, I personally think it's easier to talk to people about the 21-day fix than be like, here, read this, or here, watch this, because basically I use the same line every time. It's 30-minute workouts. She kicks your butt. It's an easy to follow meal plan, and if it fits, you can eat it. The containers are idiot approved. So that's what I say. And then we can talk more about it, but and then you say you get 30 meals of Shakeology. and I don't really even say like there's 73 vitamins and minerals. Like I don't even deal with it. I just would throw a testimonial. And I always tell mine, like I had chronic stomach pains for 15 freaking years and nothing would fix it. And after a week, they were gone, and it tastes like I am drinking a chocolate Reese's milkshake every day. So I love it. You know, just super simple like that. Anybody else?
I have a question really quick.
Okay.
Sorry, I've been cooking, so my stuff's off. So I had a girl that was asking for a sample of Shakeology. Like, how do you know? Sorry.
You're fine.
How do you know whether, like, you should be like, yeah, go ahead? Because it's like, I feel like I spend a lot of money on it. So it's hard for me, like, starting off just to be like, yeah, here's a $4 or $5 packet that I paid for myself, but you can have it. Like,
I totally agree. I actually do not give away samples to anybody. Like what I was saying is like a referral kind of thing, but to people that are like, oh, well, do you have samples that I can try? I say, I do actually. I would love to give it to you, but unfortunately I'd be losing a small fortune every month, you know, giving it away to the amount of people that want to try it. But if you want, I can get it to you for $5 or, you know, and I usually say $5 but for us, we actually got it for $3 a meal.
mm-hmm.
And for them, it's $4 a meal, but packets are $5. So I just go with $5. It's easier instead of being like, oh, here's your dollar change or whatever. But yeah, so I'm always like, that's basically what I say. I would love to give it to you, but unfortunately I've been losing a small fortune every month when people ask for samples. So I can give you one for $5, or if you want more, just let me know how many you want to try. That's what I do, because honestly, if people aren't willing to pay $5, they're not going to be willing to pay $130.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to just be handing that stuff out left and right, because once you say that, they're going to be like, oh, no, I totally understand. You know, so that's what I would do.
Do you use things like that Vimeo app? I don't know how to pronounce it, but the one for the...
Yeah, VENMO, that works if they don't have PayPal. Whichever's easiest. And most super easy.
That's the only question I had off the top of my head.
Okay. Alicia, what was yours?
Okay, so I don't know if this is going to be like a too in-depth question for right now. I don't know how much time we have left, but I was wondering how you ran businesses, because I know you do Matt's business and your business. So I don't know if you want to touch on that now, or if we should have a separate chat later this week, or what?
No, it's fine, because basically I work his just as I work mine. The only difference is I send them a different link. That's the only difference.
But there's still, so like you would still be paying 2 coaches' fees a month, right? For your business and his. So like with me, since I'm just starting out, and I'm not obviously making, you know, I mean, I'm doing fine for only being in it a month, but I'm trying to figure out how to make it worth the while to start up a second business and pay, you know, 35 or after tax, whatever it ends up being a month, like how to kind of justify that.
Well, the thing is, the sooner that you get your spouse or significant other signed up as a coach, the sooner they're going to benefit from all of the people underneath them. Because as you add that person, then they're still getting a volume underneath them. You're going to add coaches to them. You're going to add, you know, coaches to yours. And right now, Matt's making, you know, at least $300 a week just in volume on his account. So the sooner you can get him in there, and then you're going to be adding coaches to him, he's going to get that cycle bonus as well. So that's why you want them in early, because it's just going to pay off so much for you at the end. And basically look at, okay, so $30 business fee plus your Shakeology, and then you can either order Shakeology under him, or you can order the core nutrition pack, which is like $50 vitamins. Okay, so how much do I have to sell to make that worth it in the end? So you can kind of figure it out that way, but I would say the sooner that you can sign up a spouse, significant other, or family member that you'll be able to have access to their account, do that because you can get your 4 coaches on your left, your 4 coaches on your right, and then you need one of each of those coaches to be an emerald, which means they have 2 coaches underneath them, and your spouses or significant others that you have control over. So, you know, that's one person that once you need, you can just add 2 coaches to your spouse, and then, you know, that's one step closer to diamond too. So you can look at it and see, but I would tell you that this, you can get them in, just know it's going to pay off in the long run with having them, that volume underneath them. Because Matt was the second coach I signed up.
Okay. And then how do you, like, when you get new customers, like, how do you know, like, would it be more beneficial to have them added under Matt as their coach or under you, or does it not really matter because it all just kind of comes back to you anyways?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. What I started off doing when I was a newer coach with him, I would get myself to 5, and then I would get him to 5, and then I would go back to me. So you could do whatever you wanted. If you, now I get myself to 10, and then I go to Matt to get him, and then I go back to me if I need, kind of thing.
Okay.
So that's, and then when I send people Matt's link, I say, it'll say Matt McDonald's your coach, but I just work his business. Don't worry, I'll be your coach.
Okay.
They don't question it.
Okay. And then just one other small kind of silly question. On the BAT sheet, when it says follow-ups, does that mean follow-ups with customers you already have or people who you've talked to but aren't customers yet, or do you consider it both?
Both, yeah. More so for me, that follow-up is somebody that I've talked to already about a product that may be interested and hasn't pulled the trigger.
Okay. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm actually going to have to sign out because I have to go take care of my child and put him to bed. But
Okay.
thank you for answering my questions.
No, no problem. See you, Elise.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Does anybody else have anything? Yay, nay. Shauna, do you have something? Wait, hold on. You're muted. You look like you were trying to say something.
Sorry.
Oh, wait, I just muted you. Sorry. Go ahead. You're good. Yeah.
Are we good?
Yeah.
I think, well, I have a couple like weird questions, so everybody probably already knows the answer to these. My first one is, which I think you touched on a little bit, but I think I came into it late, so I'm sorry if you have to repeat yourself.
You're fine.
You know, it's only been like 10 days since I've been a Beachbody coach, and I've had like 11 or 12 people interested in what I'm doing, and I've already sold 2 challenges.
That's awesome.
But I'm a little bit nervous about how I sustain it after my first month, because I feel like once all my friends and family have tried this, then what? But I'm guessing I have to go through social media outlets like Instagram to gain people that I don't know in order to get.
Yeah, and just go through your Facebook list. I guarantee you have more people on your Facebook list that you're not talking to. And basically just reach out to them, and then you can just kind of be like, well, it's good to talk to you. I have a free exercise group. You know, I'm just always looking for more positive women. Let me know if you want me to add you to it. And then from there, they're in your exercise group, so you can follow up with, hey, how's your workouts been going? You know, things like that. Instagram is awesome. I basically, if you have somebody that likes your photos, I'll go to their page and like the last 6 photos and like comment on something. But I comment that's something that they're gonna have, instead of just them being like, thanks, I'll like compliment them and ask them a question that like, oh my gosh, I love it, a great time, you know, what race was this? And they have to respond with, you know, something else. And then I'll usually just be like, I love your post, we should be friends, are you on Facebook? Something simple like that. And then I get them to add me to Facebook because it's so much easier to connect with people on Facebook.
Do you suggest having like a separate like fitness page as opposed to just posting on your Facebook, like your regular personal page?
It is such a hard, long process to get that Facebook like page going. So I would honestly work from your personal page because it's such a long process. I have over 1,000 followers on my like page, and some of my things still get 1 like. When if I would post it on my page, I'll probably get like 60 or likes or something. So the way Facebook works, they want you to pay for ads, so your Facebook like page posts don't show up in newsfeeds like your personal page.
Okay.
So I would just go from your personal page. You'll get a lot more interaction.
I think my only other question are, what are national wake-up calls?
Amazing! Something you should listen to every week. They are, the company puts them on. So today, Christina Delgado talked, and I think she's the #1 coach in Puerto Rico. She's really fun. She's awesome. She basically, they get people that are making like 6 and 7 figures in our business and are like, hey, tell us your tips. So they're successful coaches, basically like telling you what works for them. So it's every Monday at 11 Eastern Standard Time. And they're all recorded. If you have an iPhone, all you do is download a podcast and then look for Team Beachbody. It's got like a white background, and go through there, and like you can download the podcast while you have Wi-Fi, so that if you're driving the car, you're listening to it and you're not wasting data. If you have a Droid, an Android, if you download Podcast Addict, you can then you can download the Team Beachbody app and listen to them all that way. And that is something I just found out like 3 weeks ago, and I'm so excited. Because I have an Android, so I was excited about that. Because another really great thing to listen to on podcast is Chalene Johnson. I think it's just called the Chalene Johnson show. She has 2. There's that, and then like something else, Chalene Johnson. But I love her too, so I listen to her a lot.
Okay. That was it.
Okay. So yeah, even if you can't make those, try to listen to those just like on your way home to or from work. And they go back, the recordings go back years. So you can listen to seriously like years past, and they're all still helpful. If it's not like this current month, I fast forward through like the updates and the rank advancements, and then it's only like a 30-minute call.
I have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you do, Beachbody on Demand?
Uh-huh.
Obviously. Can you do that as a challenge pack?
You can. It's $140.
How do well, we can talk about it later. But
in the product link, it says Beachbody Club Challenge Pack.
Oh, okay.
I think it says Club Membership Challenge Pack or something. And that's what they're getting. They're paying basically the club membership. They're paying that in a bundled package with Shakeology. So they'll get 3 months access to Beachbody on Demand. Anybody that buys a challenge pack, they will actually get a separate email that says, if you want to try a month free of Beachbody on Demand, you can, but they do have to put their credit card information in, and it's their job to cancel it after a month, or else they will get charged the $42 for that. But anybody that buys a challenge pack does get the option of enrolling in a 30-day Beachbody on Demand trial.
So Beachbody on Demand is like all Beachbody programs. It's not just one program that you can stream. It's any of them. It is, but you have to look and see which ones they have the full version of. All of the P90X, P90X, P90X2, P90X3 are, and then I think like Turbo Fire and some other ones, we'll have to check, but not all of them are the full program. 21 Day Fix and 21 Day Fix Extreme, they're just like purchases, like, or 1 or 2. But if you've personally bought it and then sign in through that same account, then 21 Day Fix or 21 Day Fix Extreme can be loaded up there. There's certain things that, okay, if you bought with that same membership, that whole full program will be up there for you. Okay. But not all of them. I think Insanity Max 30 just got added to that list. But yeah, and then there's like one trial of a lot of different programs. Anybody else have anything? Abby, are you talking? Hold on. Were you talking?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so in the welcome email, you put something about canceling the Beachbody Club membership. Mm-hmm. Is that automatically? Because I didn't see that as part of my options when I was signing up, so I don't know if I'm signed up for that or not.
It automatically for all coaches. So any coach that is enrolled in a challenge pack purchase, it will automatically charge you for the Beachbody Club membership after the first 30 days. So I tell coaches to cancel that until you're Emerald. Because once you're Emerald, it is helpful because that you have to be paying for that to get your free leads. But until you're Emerald, it's not beneficial unless you do want the bod, because you do need that for the Beachbody On Demand.
Okay.
Yeah, and you don't have to remind customers to cancel that. That's just for coaches. But you do have to remind customers for their auto shipment of their Shakeology, whichever way you want to do that. I put it in my phone after 3 weeks, a week from when it's going to go through again. Because if you bought it May 1st, it's going to go through June 1st. You always want to remind them like a week ahead of time.
And then with the spouse thing, so I could have my husband under me, but I could work his business and like who? Okay.
Yeah, I just do it just because it's beneficial for him to be your first coach, and then you just need to find one more before you get Emerald, and then your first promotion. And then, like I said, because I put him in early, and the volume I've been able to add underneath him, he is making from his business, he's making about $300 a week just in volume underneath him, because I've been growing, his business. The other thing is he's actually 1-star qualifying for Diamond. Basically, you get to Diamond rank, which is 4 coaches on one side, 4 coaches on one side, 1 of each is Emerald, which means they each have their 2 coaches. So and then if you get any diamonds underneath you, you get stars underneath you. So Matt is 1-star qualifying. He will probably be 2-star by the end of this month or next. And once you're 2-star, you get to open up your second business center. So I just saw an eyeball. Shut up. You get to open up your second business center. So you have a strong leg and a weak leg. The cool thing is with your second business center, you get to put underneath. So say this is my weak leg. I got to put my second business center here, which is basically me just sponsoring myself. So this is me. Sorry. Like making inappropriate hand gestures. This is me, the second business center, and I get to add on here. And this was my weak leg, but I'm making this stronger for this, for that cycle bonus. So I get to grow my cycle bonus, but the cool thing is Matt's about to be 2-star Diamond, so he'll get to open another business center to help out his weak leg, and this is probably too much extra. Basically, as you grow your business, you get to open up another business center to benefit you. And because Matt is, I put him in early and I'm adding coaches to him, he's also going to get that benefit. And at the end of the day, it's not rank you want to go for. It's not like, I'm a 15-star Diamond. Even if you're a 15-star Diamond, you wouldn't be complaining. You'd be doing pretty awesome with your paycheck. But it's not really about how many stars you have underneath you, but total volume, because that's really what's going to be helping your paycheck. And as you are increasing in your, business and your volume is building, that's when the magic happens and you start seeing your paycheck increase. So anything else? Good? All right. Well, thanks so much for jumping on. And what time is it? Oh, it's 8:06. If you want to, you can jump on Kelly's call. It started a few minutes ago, and she's talking about mistakes to avoid and things like that. And I posted that in our important Run Pink info if you want to jump on there. So thanks so much for getting on tonight, guys. And our next call is Thursday at 7 if you can hop on then, okay? Bye. See you.